Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. With me today is Troy Brittingham.
You are Jeff.
I am Jeff, and special guest on the couch. How are you today, sir?
Hello.
This is D. I didn't know if he was going to do a character or not. That's why I didn't say his name.
It's a D.
I was about to say, I'm like, is D relegated to a special guest now? You haven't been on one
I'm
so long?
special guest D, but I'm back for the summertime love.
I say we
Yeah.
actually keep you as a special guest, even if you're on.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I originally had. Remember this
Yeah.
whole thing? Remember the bit that went forever?
We should just do
That
it
was a
again
great
and
bit.
just
I wanna
act like
say-
it's not the same one.
And featuring D as B.A. Baracus.
As P.A. Baracus.
Something like that.
All right, let's go. Theme song.
TB&J!
Is this our longest running show for the podcast?
TB&J!
The Boys?
Yeah.
It's gotta be. I imagine.
I want to say yeah.
It's before Invincible.
TB&J! TB&J!
Maybe the competition's like Mando,
I don't even think
Yeah.
that. No.
but Mando also hasn't
Amanda
had
has
anything.
4 seasons, though.
We started The Boys earlier.
And they're the
though.
same number. They've had 4 seasons, plus
Was The Boys pre-Mando?
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
I think so.
Yeah, but they both had 4 seasons with 8 episodes each, plus
Mhm.
a season of the Boba Fett.
No, Mando's at 3.
It was.
Yeah,
you-
last one was
okay.
3.
All right, well then 4 if you count Boba Fett, which we
Yeah.
would kind of do.
Yeah, the
'cause
book
there's
of
a whole
Boba Fett.
season. There's a whole season of Mandalorian in there.
Yeah, Boba's kind of like season 2.
Anyway, the boys. This is not
Boys!
important to anybody else.
Season 4 of The Boys dropped. First
Thumbs.
3 episodes on Thursday night.
Thumbs up our butts, boys.
Thumbs, Troy.
I don't
There's
know if
no-
it's at my butt. I think it's up.
Yeah.
Are we
it's
doing all
definitely-
3
I mean, it's
together?
the
I mean,
boys.
no, it's the boys.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna say
There's no-
one thumb up and into somebody's eye.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
And it's
D, how you
gory.
feeling?
Yeah, it's thumbs ups. Good start to the season.
My thumb is in another man's urethra.
Mm.
And it stays little.
Is it the same man, and it's just you all the way down with your thumbs?
I'm
up
just
to the
sounding
uterus?
myself with my
Right.
thumb. Then no. Also, don't Google that, kids. Don't Google what sounding is. You're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. Anywho, The Boys season
I'm so glad I
4.
forget. I know you told me once. I'm so happy right now that I don't remember what it is. Do not tell me.
Context clues will get you there. So The Boys season 4 dropped. First 3 episodes on Thursday, and just like I want to say the last 2 seasons of The Boys, it got kind of review bombed by a lot of alt-right Twitter people.
Did it?
It did.
No.
It's got a very low audience score, I think.
I
on
feel like
Rotten
they're
Tomatoes.
finally catching on that Homelander's the bad guy.
Wait, what?
Wait, he's the bad guy?
What do you? But he wears the American flag.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
There was like a brief moment, some Redditor took a screenshot where the audience score had it like at 60, I think, or 55, but now it's sitting at 74. So I don't know if they got like the editors or something involved in that to get rid of like clear troll reviews.
I love Eric Kripke, who's just been like,
Oh,
I
Eric
don't
Kripke's
know,
the best.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else.
And
Yeah,
how else
prove
to
it.
explain to you guys that
Yeah, like some
I
people
don't
complain that The
need Jewish
Boys
fans.
is too blunt and over your head with it, but like if you're not, then people are gonna think Homelander is a sympathetic character, and he is not. He's never been.
No, that's
It's
they,
really
they don't. No, they do. That's not true. I would say Homelander is extraordinarily sympathetic. At like
You know what?
you
Yeah.
feel for him when he feels like. No, I think this entire thing, you sit there and go and watch him lose his shit, which is comical, but also he's so pathetic.
Mhm.
Pathetic, the meaning of it is literally feeling empathy for another person. Like, it's literally like feeling bad
You're right.
because they're so incapable of protecting themselves. They're so weak that you feel that's literally what pathos is. But like,
I apologize. I was wrong.
But
No,
like,
I misspoke. That's
and
fine.
you see how he gets like he's a child. Like,
Yeah.
You've seen him feel like, you know what he's saying to the boy. What's his kid's name?
Ryan.
Ryan at times is like, no, that's exactly what this kid needs to hear from somebody right now. Like, he needs to be told the truth, or he needs to be told this. Like, there are, he's backed into the right things and also been, truly actually empathetic in certain cases to what something like Ryan needs, because it's what he needed at a certain point.
Yes.
So like, there's definitely been sympathies where you feel for him, but like you're also laughing at him and you hate him. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's why he's such a great character. And the opening scene of him in this season is just another fucking. It is a classic introduction for this character.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's a couple great images from this show. Obviously, the one of him jerking off over the skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I jerk off on all of you, or whatever the fuck.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
Fucking, and then he's pulling out those gray pubes out of his fucking
yeah.
crotch. Didn't need to see that.
Well,
Didn't need
the
that.
the whole like shot of him looking like it's like, in the sunlight and this, and then it pans over to see that he's just taking a piss, and it's the light in the room. Like,
Yeah.
is a perfect image, like a perfect metaphor of his and the entirety of so
You're
much.
like,
of
oh,
Boys.
is he just dropping trow out in public
It's just
again?
it's just the illusion of greatness and it immediately shown to be like in a toilet. Like it's not.
Yeah.
His bed also, his entire room and decor is like so fucking Trumpy, and it's like so fucking on the nose.
It's so like the people who think they're patriotic, the more flags they buy. It's just covered in red, white, and blue,
but
star
it's-
spangled.
Speaking of sentimentality, like his whole drawer of creepiness is of sentiment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is his pubes, a jar of his pubes,
Mhm.
Yep.
and which I feel like might come into play. Like those are his pubes. Like I feel like haven't they done more with Superman's hair
Yeah.
in Superman 2 or 4 or something?
No, for sure. Like there
Um,
could be something to that.
One of my
in this
favorite
universe.
scenes in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace,
The quest for
where
peace.
they're
The
just
greatest
they're
title
holding
of
like
the
a
greatest
2-ton
movie, yeah.
weight from one of Superman's hairs. It's like in a
That's
museum.
crazy.
It's like holding
Mhm.
up this like weight that his hair holds it, and that's how Lex Luthor clones him to make the Super.
That's
guy. Like,
so funny.
yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I totally remember that.
Oh, man,
So
that's
so yeah,
Nuclear
I'm
Man.
wondering if a similar scenario could play out here.
Can we just get Nuclear Man in the boys?
A new Killer
just,
Man.
Just the Nuclear Man,
Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man.
who is
uh,
the bad guy in
yeah, it's-
Superman 4. The
It's
Quest for Peace.
basically
Oh.
they couldn't get Kurt Russell to play him, but they needed a guy with that hair.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So yeah, they. I forget where I was now.
You were talking about the pubes and his sentiment drawer.
Oh yeah, well
he has
he
the
also had
picture
the picture of of Stormfront,
Stormfront with her
and
first husband.
who
Yeah.
I also am not sure if they're dead. We've never seen them pass.
I thought we saw Stormfront's body being carried out in a body bag after she
I
like
don't-
bit her tongue and bled to death in the.
They
hospital.
That's
what they
said
said.
that off screen, and then they moved it, but you never saw. Or that's where I'm just like, nah, they'll bring it back.
Comics have certainly put that paranoia into us, where if we don't see the body in the casket, lid closed, underground, we do not
or
ever
at
believe
least
it.
see the death blow.
Sure.
You know, you have to see the death, like the head chop off, or and even then, it's like still possible, but you're less likely to accept it. Like,
Absolutely.
So I feel like Noir, the original, is dead, even though.
Well, yeah, we have Black Noir 2 here.
Yeah,
He's so funny. I love this
I
character.
did like this joke.
What's my motivation? I need some direction.
He has
here.
this. He has. I went to his apartment and he has a dojo, but I didn't know karate.
Yeah, he has all this stuff, but he didn't know karate, as far as I know. Fucking hilarious.
It's did we all watch Gen V?
I watched a few episodes. I lost it at some point because my life got real crazy around that time.
That was when you got married.
Yes, it is.
It is worth it.
I have finished it. I finished it recently because this was coming out, because I also got lost in it.
I do feel like
I think it's
there's
great.
more and more things that are going to be like there's a lot of information that's relevant now that they did an alright job releasing to some degree. But I definitely feel like it is worth the watch, because even though it is light, how much they use from the boys in Gen V, it's relevant enough.
Apparently, the Homelander makes an
Vic-
appearance, right?
He does at
Yeah.
the end, and I would say it's one of the things where it's hard to say like whether you should know that. It's definitely better to know it, I think, than not know it, but I don't think it like is necessary information as to his role in it.
Okay.
He just shows up at the end, and basically all this. Let's just say that spoilers for Gen V, because
Sure.
we're already past that. Is that there's a underground at the labs. They are experimenting on soups, and they have the head person there has established a virus that can kill soups, like
Okay.
like a fucking Ebola, like disgusting.
Oh,
like
shit.
they are fucked up, and they are just experimenting on the kids downstairs. Now that's because even though it's Vought owned and run, the person who's running this is actually anti-soup. Her family, somebody of her family died on flight, whatever. So she has been planning against it. So she wants to create things that kill all the soups. So all of the soups in the thing, like, figured out they're all fucking killing everybody. They're like, fuck everybody else. They're like, we're soups, we're fucking better. Like, basically the entire campus is villains now, and our couple of our main characters that have lasted this far are the heroes trying to save people.
Oh shit!
And our one main character is a character that she killed her parents by accident when her powers manifested because she controls blood, and when she had her.
Oh, this is Marie, right?
Yeah. So her powers, that's Victoria Newman's powers.
Oh.
Yeah, they have the exact
Victoria
same thing.
Newman is a big character in the show and reveals to her that they are the same in their power set. What she does at Exploding Heads is what she could do with blood.
Oh shit!
That's Newman's power.
That's fucking insane.
Right. So
Also, has that happened before where two soups had the same power?
yes.
I mean, there's Ryan and Homelander right now.
Yes.
Yeah, but like
It's
outside of
yes,
families.
the noir and female.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
It's speedsters.
Sure.
Like, this is like you're way beyond the pale. This like
I was
they're
like-
almost all the same power.
I was like, whoa, this is crazy
Shape
groundbreaking.
changers,
And you guys immediately shut it down like, no, you fucking idiot. No.
It's because
Come on.
It's because of the dumb.
Yeah, the dumb.
The dumb. It's 'cause
Yeah,
of the dumb.
yeah. Excuse me, let me go take some more stupid pills.
Yeah.
You should stop doing that. I think it would make
Yeah,
you less dumb.
But the doctor told me.
I don't
Well,
know if that's a real
I mean,
doctor.
they're-
Doctors wouldn't lie to me, right?
Which doctor was this?
The one who gave me
was
the
it,
COVID
was
vaccine.
it Dr. Acula?
Oh, no, you're right.
Oh.
He does have very pointy teeth, and I only ever see him at night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I think I got to break up with my
Just
doctor.
don't invite him in.
How much garlic do you eat?
Oh, I'm Sicilian. Tons.
There
It's
you
like
go.
in my blood.
You should be fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, where were we? The episode. Okay, so what do we like? What do we dislike? Let's start with we've already gone into some likes. What stands out this episode for you, Troy?
And I'm assuming we're just hitting all three at one time as if it's one big episode.
Yeah. In
I assume that's how we all watched them. Was just back to back.
Yeah.
What are the?
I think I watched two and then I watched one.
Let's go with our
next
top
day.
three things that pop out to us. Let's just state them and not elaborate, and then go. What do you think of when you think of these three episodes, Troy? Go. First three things pop in your head.
My brain's going blank immediately.
Okay, anything that happened this season.
I remember the War on Christmas on Ice,
Awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Okay.
which is very funny.
I said no comments. Go.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's not funny actually. It's lame.
Look at the gun I've pointed at you.
Okay. I'm more nervous now.
Look at the gun.
I'm
think
way
about
more
what
nervous
happened.
now.
What do you think it happened? What do you remember?
There's the intro where it seems like Kimiko's powers are a lot stronger in this season. I don't know if it's on purpose
maybe
or not.
that could be true.
And we have a whole Frenchie side plot.
Okay, very good. And what stands out to you there, Jeffrey? Three things. Go.
So Frenchie's whole side plot, I feel like
No comments.
No comments.
No comments. Just what three things do you remember?
Oh shit. Okay, so the Frenchie side plot.
Yeah.
Sure.
What stands out?
Butcher. I feel like he's got two imaginary friends.
Yeah. Okay.
And Huey's mom is not terrible. Maybe.
Also, maybe imaginary.
Oh shit! You think so?
And no one's seen her except him.
Oh, is
and
that
he-
your big?
He
thought?
also has compound V issues. They're both hallucinating.
Oh my god!
He's manifested his guilt over his dad.
I don't have a
I
dun
think
dun dun
her
sound
whole
effect.
her whole thing was saying that their recent thing is that he has her telling where he kind of made some ground with her at the last episode was that she said like she tried to commit suicide and then like that's why she left like afterwards, and I'm like, oh no, she committed suicide. That's what happened.
Oh,
We don't actually know the end of it, and like he's manifesting this whole thing with like the storyline, and she said he changed his will, and he's like, no, he didn't, or like so like his will all it just stayed with her. And the lawyer doesn't see her. He's just looking over the material. He's assuming like, okay, well, if this person's alive, then they're the, I don't think he knows them. Like, did you get the impression that they was like I wasn't sure, because the only thing that throws me off was that a lawyer that would have known whether they're alive or not, or was this a new lawyer? I got the impression that it was like a newer lawyer, not like a family friend.
Well, I think he works with the Starlighters, right?
Yeah.
They brought it
so
to
they
him.
wouldn't know them, and it's not like he's just like, yeah, if he wouldn't know, like, oh, your mom's dead, dude. Like I think she's dead. So I think that's another thing.
Oh man,
because he also has been kind of talking without anybody there. It sounded
he does talk to himself.
They're doing a good job with these redirects, because I also believe that the Negan is not there either.
Oh yeah.
Negan is not there.
I had that guess from before the season started, because there's an Instagram page that's like Vought HQ, and it's like not necessarily Vought, but it's like people that claim to be insiders, and they posted a Fight Club poster of Butcher and the Jeffrey Dean Morgan character, whose name I can't remember in the show, and it was like spoilers, and I was like, oh, so like he's just in his head. And then when he had the hallucinations of Becca talking to him, telling him not to ruin Huey's dirt on Newman, I was like, oh, so they're both in his head, like the devil and the angel on his shoulders.
And I didn't get that impression so much as I got, and that makes sense. But I looked at the Becca as being the misdirect to say, oh, that's who he's been talking to. So
sure.
It throws you off of him.
That's certainly how it was framed.
So I definitely feel like that's gonna, I think they're doing that well. Like, there's only so many ways you could kind of tell this story without, and he's obviously losing it, so that's also an option. But yeah, standouts for me, just the Frenchie hallucinogenic scene. Stands out.
Loved it.
Even though it's reminiscent of the Suicide Squad.
What was it, Polka Dot Man?
Yeah. The killing of Todd.
Todd dying.
That whole, I definitely called how they were gonna plant them there like that. Like I figured out what was going on pretty quick.
As soon as Homelander said you guys are martyrs, I was like,
Sage,
fuck, what's she gonna do?
The smartest person on the planet, is a fantastic ad on par,
100%
on par with Stormfront ad and Soldier Boy. This is 3 straight seasons of them adding a new character into the show that is just phenomenal. Like, great. Like balls to the wall. Like, I love Soldier Boy, I love Stormfront, and now I love Sage.
You think Soldier Boy's coming back this season?
I would like to see them at some point.
Because Soldier Boy's still around. He's just in cryo sleep somewhere.
And if I added a 4th, it would definitely be the convention con fire.
There's so many good things.
Oh
in that
my
convention.
gosh! Oh my gosh! How
the
should I
guy
describe
rimming
this?
himself
Yes,
over and over.
The tossed salad centipede.
There you go.
The same human centipede.
Yeah, that was pretty hot.
It's
and that guy's great. That actor does a bunch of stuff for Kripke. He's been plenty of good roles. Oh, he played Chuck in Supernatural. If you know,
oh no shit,
Supernatural. Do you guys know Chuck?
I vaguely.
I know zero Supernatural.
Okay. Do you think you'll ever watch it?
Probably not at this point.
Spoilers for a very old show at this point.
I was going to say, it's old and there's like a million seasons.
As old as my career. Chuck is God. Chuck is God.
Oh, neat.
Chuck starts out as a prophet. So he's a prophet. Like, these books that he was writing were actually, the whole premise, great premise. They had, he was writing Sam and Dean's stories. He's like,
shit.
This guy is fucking writing us. He's like, they're fucking, and they're trashy too. He's like,
oh no.
He's like, it's all like fanfic. Like, it's all commentary on that. But like, it turns out like he's actually a prophet, and they're writing another chapter of the Bible. Like, so he's actually being given the messages from angels to tell them the stories of Sam and Dean.
Oh,
and
man.
it's actually really well done. But then as it turns out, there's a reveal later that actually Chuck, that was bullshit. He's actually God hiding in human form from everything else. Like, then it goes, it's
that sounds crazy, and I fucking love that.
But all of that stuff's like after Kripke. I think he was just the prophet Chuck while Kripke was there.
Well,
Okay.
So I think that was his initial intention.
Well, that brings us to another thing: is does he leave after season 5, or he just wanted to do 5?
He only intended that show to be 5 seasons
Mm-hmm.
and for it to end the way it did. That was his intention. And by the time it came out, the Sam and Dean actors had become like distinctive producers. They were very happy to continue doing the show. They had really picked it up, I think, by the 3rd season. Like after the 3rd season to the 4th and 5th were like some of their favorite years of the show, and they were like, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
And they had no reason to stop, and there was a lot of people from the previous thing, and he gave them a blessing to say, you guys keep it going. That was my story, and I'm out.
Yeah, he told his story, but everyone else was like, it's a money printing machine. Why are you walking away?
And honestly, like, season 6 was good enough. Season 7 was, I think, the weakest ever. And you were like, okay, then season 8 seemed interesting again, and season 9 started to be like, okay, and then I was like, cool, they'll probably just end it at 10, and then they got to 10 and didn't stop.
Oh, they just kept
and then
going.
they got to 15 and didn't stop. Like, is it 15?
Is it 15? I don't fucking know.
I don't know, but I was amazed they didn't stop. But then I remember watching an episode in like season 11 or 12 and being like, you know what? That was fun and good. Like, god damn it. Anyway.
I bring it up because he has sort of officially announced that
Yes.
we are ending at 5.
Yep.
So this is
Great.
sort of all
Good
of
news.
the build up to the end. And it's not, we're going to get boys until it's bad, where they're just going to do Gen V and spin-offs and
Oh, sure. You can
Diabolical
do
and
Gen
whatever.
V forever. You can maybe do a little bit more of the boys.
There will be other spin-offs probably.
Sure.
They'll do some spin-offs. They'll try to milk this
Yeah.
for all it's worth. But I do think that, like, while there's going to be good in there, it'll be similar of the sense of, like, this is the core canon.
Yeah, I also think that's kind of the best of both worlds, because I always joke around. I'm just like, sometimes I like watching a thing that stays on forever until it gets really, really bad. And if the show goes and then just ends, and then they have a bunch of spin-offs, and eventually that just goes until they're like, nobody cares about this anymore.
What?
That's also kind of good.
What imprint was The Boys on? I cannot remember at the moment. What comic imprint were they from?
Is it Image?
That was my initial thought, but I don't think maybe. I thought it was some kind of DC off-put or like.
Published by Wildstorm/DC
Oh.
for 1 through 6.
Okay, that's why.
1 through
'Cause
6. And then
Wildstorm-
7 through 72 are published by
Wildstorm
Dynamite.
is originally Image. Wildstorm is originally a part of
okay.
Jim Lee's stuff from Image, and then so that's why I got mixed up. So I guess it's DC property technically.
That's weird to think about.
Well, after issue 7 through 72, it goes over to Dynamite Entertainment, so
Okay,
I don't know if
that's where it is now. It is an independent now.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking initially that it might have been part of technically the Invincible universe.
Yeah, that's what I thought, like, for a second at first as well, yeah.
Because, like, Savage Dragon and a couple other Image things are technically part of Image. Like,
Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
a thing that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles until it wasn't.
So officially, just the first graphic novel, The Name of the Game, which comprises issues 1 through 6, that is DC/Wildstorm. Everything else is
got boys.
Dynamite.
Just to be clear, I'm not laughing at
Dynamite.
Savage Dragons. I just think it's very funny, the trajectory of that thing.
Yeah.
the Dragon is savage.
Yeah, DC dropped it after issue 6, and they gave it back to Derek Robertson and Garth Ennis, and they shopped it around, and Dynamite picked it up.
Enos.
Yeah, so DC could have had the boys, but they dropped it, and fucking how better would a DC have been? Could you imagine Batman just showing up in the boys?
Dude, I would.
They'd kill
I hate.
they'd kill that guy.
Wildstorm. Wildstorm. And that actually makes the most sense because that makes them having been in the Wildstorm universe makes the most sense. But I kind of got confused when I was initially reading because I thought it was actually part of that, but I didn't realize they had been moved up to DC by that point. But Wildstorm universe, as it originally was created in the Image universe, is a fantastic universe. It is it is probably like the one thing that I would absolutely unabashedly love to see happen. But the fact that it is now owned by DC has ruined it completely because they have tried to integrate it for real into their universe, and it is a failure on every end because each one of those things is like its own thing. You can't pigeonhole it into like this universe. You can't like take like some of the better characters and like bring them in here. It doesn't work. They have an entire backstory that is dedicated to their own individual universe, and to like I just haven't liked a single one that they do. We're getting way off. The boys. We're sorry. We're back.
The boys.
It's been a while.
It has. So,
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
No.
we got.
Okay. I was gonna talk about Frenchie. Frenchie was one of my favorite parts so far of these first 3 episodes.
Okay.
He's always been one of my favorite characters. I feel like Frenchie doesn't really exist outside of like his relationship with Kimiko, unless we're gonna like kick him down a peg and tell him he's a piece of shit and we hate him for what he did in his past.
I don't think
I want to be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I mean that. First of all, Frenchie and Kimiko and their exploits and relationship is like a plotline, just like how Butcher is on his own half the time.
Sure.
They are on their own half the time, and they're dealing with their thing, and they're the broken characters of the group that are the most broken, like they're these soulmates, and I love their dynamic that is kind of a will they won't they, but also a friendship. Like it is a deep friendship that they have, like a deep connection, and that's their ultimate superpower. I actually was so at the end of last season, which by the way I rewatched a lot of last season, but I remember like the end just being underwhelming. Like there was so much buildup. Herogasm was awesome. Like the high point of the season last season. It was looking like this was gonna be balls to the wall. We were getting it. And then they pulled. It felt like they set the table, and then they just like they made it so that they were gonna rip the tablecloth from it, and then they kind of just went like, nah, we're just gonna leave it.
We don't want to break the
we don't
really
break
nice
it.
dishes.
So you get no death. You get this black noir death, I guess.
Sure,
Like,
but Maeve is still around.
Maeve
Nobody
didn't
died from
seem
the
like he
final
died.
fight. Soldier Boy's in custody. Homelander
then
got away.
And then you reset the board. It seemed like that. Now when they restart the season, it didn't feel like that at all. And it to me it was like, you know what? Oh, man, had they ended, had they had like episode 8 of last season be like the penultimate episode, and had the first episode of season 4 be like the last episode of season 3, you'd have been like, oh, okay, this is crazy. Oh, where's this gonna go? Because like you would have had this table setting for the next season that I think episode 1 does really well, and makes it feel like, okay, it feels all new. I think that Kimiko got through last season her trauma of thinking that she is a monster because of her powers. So now she is past that. Now she is accepting of her powers. Yeah. She accepts who she is. And that's what she's saying. But she hasn't faced her actual trauma
of being a child fighter.
So she's gotten past some of the falsehoods. She's made progress, but not all of it. Frenchie in a similar way has gotten past like his controllers, and he is kind of like free, but he is lost, and he still has all the regret from those that controlled him, which is what we're seeing in that hallucination when he is dealing with the fact that I guess this guy that he's seeing, which is beautiful by the way, love their little love story.
Yeah. Anybody who fucking trashing on Frenchie for loving a man can suck my dick, all right?
Listen, I like when they do it well and it feels natural and it doesn't feel forced, and they do that.
That's literally
They had a great chemistry. I mean, Frenchie has just good chemistry with everybody.
Frenchie oozes charisma, and this guy is fucking
adorable.
I
every season I feel like I need to get Frenchie's haircut. So I will have those. I already have my eyebrow.
I noticed that. I did notice the little eye notch that I don't know.
Look
if
at
I
you getting
before.
all trendy.
So I'll have my beard pit in real soon.
And Colin, I think his name is, so fucking hot.
He's
and
hot.
They're so adorable together.
It was really good. But it turns out that he's a victim of Frenchie's previous exploits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he killed his parents or some shit. He fucking Batmaned him.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
That's going to be interesting. So I think that they're both in that. Now, the sequence, the hallucinogenic sequence, was pretty good. But again, and it works perfectly for this show. I'm wondering when this is conceived and how much they put thought into, like, is this just another the Suicide Squad scene with Harley Quinn where she does where that was done beautifully. It's
Sure, yeah.
absolutely great. Phenomenal scene. I need to rewatch that one. That was a good flick. They should have a scene.
I saw it recently, actually. It was on TV at a friend's house when I was over for a party because she just had it on as background noise. And I was like, fuck, this movie's really good. I forgot
dude,
how good it is.
We loved Peacemaker, and it's literally the
Fucking Starro
prequel.
coming out of nowhere.
mhm.
Oh, so
this is
good.
a fucking great movie.
Such a good movie.
So yeah, but they did it a little bit better, I think, and did it first. And I'm wondering how much thought they gave to be like, should we do this? Like, it makes sense for the characters. It's a good scene.
Sure.
It's just like I'm watching it going like, okay.
I feel like James Gunn
There's not a way to
is-
do it better. You're surprised it the first time. And
Absolutely.
It's kind of there.
James Gunn, it feels like he makes products that are kind of similar to the way Kripke does, or vice versa. I don't know who came first and who's trying to imitate who or whatever. It's art. Everyone's imitating somebody else. But the final product does feel very similar when I watch like a James Gunn superhero movie or Peacemaker versus watching The Boys. And I'm wondering like how much of that is their personal style versus like, oh, the trend of superheroes is to just be more violent and be more crazy and be more like this. But I do love what they do. They are very similar products. And if Kripke is ripping off James Gunn, I feel like he did it with his blessing, for sure.
I mean, I think that the difference though is I really like the scenes that it like cuts back to what's really happening and the music stops.
That's what
and
I
it's
like.
just
Yeah.
like a sad guy bleeding out on the
that,
floor.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say. Was I think that was the conversation that they had. Was that instead of just kind of showing that version of it and the aftermath, let's say, they would cut back and show you like what's actually happening. This guy's getting his head picked off.
Yeah,
If I-
Kimiko's a fucking badass.
And that's a good transition to go back to your previous comment about like I do think her powers got amped up, and I'm wondering if that's because of her more recent reacquisition of the powers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so. That's intriguing to some degree.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you're-
she
that-
fell out of a fucking like crazy
she puts
high
her face
window.
back
She put her
on.
face
she,
back on, like,
she
she
regrows a
definitely-
whole arm.
She
Yeah.
regrew
Like
that's
seconds.
Deadpool level. Like
that little tiny baby
yeah,
hand.
which was a great setup for the Starlight entrance. Beautiful setup. Miss her hands because it's too short, and just like the
And just
fantastic.
looking at it, and then she falls. I was like, oh my god, did she die? I like
this is the
didn't know if it was like too much beyond what she could regenerate or not, because she just fucking splatted.
yeah, it,
man.
and it definitely seemed like she would have taken longer to heal from that, not just put her face back on.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But yeah, that definitely seemed like that opening was very good, and it was that moment where I'm like, all right, they're back.
The boys are back.
Yeah. And also did Newman get an upgrade? We never, I guess, looked into how powerful she was beyond her
Yeah.
Yeah,
powers.
I think it's
We
more of a
kind assumed-
discovery about how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently she's like super fucking hard to kill.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that seems she took a bullet point blank. Like,
Mhm.
what's her face? Starlight can't
Can't she?
no sell a point blank shot.
I mean,
I guess she didn't no sell it. Did she get knocked out from that?
Who, Newman?
Yeah, no,
No.
she no sold that, right?
yeah, no, Newman just like fucking like it was
Brush
nothing.
it off.
She
That's
got annoyed.
Homeland. That's like Homelander level.
Same with the acid that Huey threw on her that like ate away through part of her jacket, and she was just like, "Fuck you, man! I gotta go back out there and do a
Yeah.
speech." And it's like, "Oh, we really thought this would kill you, and it didn't do shit."
Yeah.
Like it's fucking crazy.
And her daughter, that whole thing is that was a good her tentacles eating monster, like just eating the way it ate the people's face was fucked.
oh
up.
my god!
What an expendable group of guys that they walk
Yeah.
into
The
that
Secret
building with.
Service,
And you
yeah.
look at them and you go, oh, you're with the boys, are you?
Yeah, you're with the boys.
Well, I was I was definitely not sure. They grew it back right away, but there was definitely a moment of they're like, oh shit, like does she not have an arm now? Because I don't know if she can really do that.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
they
I didn't know
immediately started
either.
coming back, which definitely seems like a impressive upgrade from.
Yeah.
And
She's
definitely
she's
from
going
when
through
she was
the
injured.
she's going through the Wolverine trajectory.
I was literally
of
gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
where he can regrow him
Yeah.
his whole body.
Which
Apparently.
like, and that's where it's another thing like Black Noir, where you're like, what are your, like, can you, if that's the case, then I wouldn't feel like a punch through the gut finishes you. My whole thought with the with the Black Noir is indeed dead, even though he has regenerative abilities, is that Homelander wanted him dead. That was clear.
Yeah.
He ripped through his chest, and he can laser him from there. Like, I don't think you need to show him laser him and do
No.
that stuff, but like, if he wants him dead, I think Homelander's smart enough to kill him. Like,
Yeah,
to
for
kill
sure.
to disintegrate him out. And that maybe they could have implied the lasering afterwards, like just a shot of him looking at him and his eyes lighting up, and then cut away, like just to be like, then he fucking disintegrated him into nothing and he's gone. I don't need to see any of that.
Yeah.
On
On the topic, do you think Black Noir 2 actually has powers, or is he just an actor?
Well, he's from the Juilliard school of Vought, that school at the thing they reference. I guess. Oh, fuck! That just reminded me of the director guy was in the Gen V.
Yes,
and
yes,
he was
yes.
like, because of his scandal at the end of the previous season.
Oh, yeah,
he
right.
He was in jail at the university teaching a class where he's like teaching an acting class.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And then in this season we get which I originally thought, is this an actual origin story? And then I'm like, no, this seems totally over the top, and this is not how he actually came up. And then I'm like, what are they going to be? Because I thought initially
For who?
for A-Train.
A-Train, yeah.
For A-Train storyline.
That's what I thought you were
Oh,
going
with
into.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah. that I thought, because they had hinted at it, that it was going to be like an actual background story of him and Sister Sage, who, by the way, if you catch, A-Train does, anytime he referenced, like, they're like, what is she? And he says she's the smartest person in the world. He does say person.
Oh yeah.
And
Everyone else says woman.
Yeah, and
but
it's
he
like
says person.
It's definitely neat. Did not see her fucking the deep. Although I am wondering one of two things here.
Okay. I was ready to talk about this with you.
We need to talk about
My-
Sage in general. She's
my
great.
obvious, my initial speculation here is that I think the more obvious one, which is that she is using the deep as her muscle. She's gonna need. She's not as strong as Homelander, not as strong as some of the people around her. She needs someone that is going to be, and he's the most capable and pliable to basically just be a bulletproof vest for her. Like a bulletproof vest and a fist that she can use if she needs it. She basically has a protector that's going to defend her because he's fucking her.
I read that scene completely differently.
Okay, so that's my initial thought, because she was already buttering him up to do stuff, and then you have this other thing.
Yes.
But the part that detracts from that is that it was the whole blooming onion thing.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that this seemed like more of like a complexity to her character rather than a part of her ploys and manipulations. Although I'm not certain that she has anything going on in her life beyond her ploys and manipulations.
Yeah.
I think that's what drives her, that she's never not on, is just my initial guess. And that the blooming onion and kind of living in her own filth kind of shit, being
And
depressive
just watching
is
reality TV.
is a misdirect, and it's just to appeal to the deep. Like, that's what it reads on the surface. It could be something deeper to say that, because he does mention, like, oh, if you want to sit here with, like, Taco Bell and whatever and your books, like, stay here, or you can put your ideas into practice. So I think her motivation, like, she's a lot like Dow from, and I'm sure there's a couple other characters like her in the comics that you guys are aware of.
Mhm.
I mean, Reed Richards' Maker is a
Sure.
similar character. The one that I think was always the best was Dow, Tao, from Wildstorm, who was tactically augmented organism. He was just this really cool character, and he was introduced as just like this. They had a genetics lab where they were like growing superheroes essentially, or superpower ones. And he's just like, yo, he's really smart. Like, do not talk to. Like, it was like that kind of stuff. And he's like, these guys are trying to take you away from me, Tal. Unbeknownst to you, this good doctor talking. And he's like, what are you working on there? Some kind of puzzle. And he's like, actually, it's 10 numbers. Or it's five. It's like 5 sets of 10 numbers. Tell me what they add up to. And he's like, I think they add up to getting whatever. And he's like, and it's like he's like, what were the numbers? He's like, 4 of the numbers were, or one of the numbers was his wife's phone number. The other 4 were not.
Oh,
And it's like, it was like he does that type of shit. Like he can just read a
That's
room,
hilarious.
figure it out. Like the only angle. There was like a big like Mexican standoff at one point, and he like very nonchalantly like. Somebody has like a bag of coke or heroin that they're holding, and like there's a hostage, and there's this, and he just like nonchalantly shoots the heroin and explodes in their face, and like they get knocked out from the heroin, and like it's just like a whole thing. Like, so like he's just like and then he eventually like turncoats and becomes like the ultimate supervillain.
Sure.
In the thing, so he's just like the head of like their Wilson Fisk.
oh,
Essentially.
nice.
So it's that type of character, and they're just awesome. Like they're always 17 steps ahead of everyone, and it's neat. So that's my guess. What
So-
were you? How did you read it?
So I read it as completely out of character from what I knew about her. She's watching stupid reality TV. She's eating junky food that she got from Outback, and she thinks the Deep is hot if we take it on surface level, and starts making out with him and fucks him. Great. And then it pans out, and there's like a bloody stick
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was sure of.
I figured like did she like give herself a bit of a lobotomy? Is she trying to dumb herself down, and that's why she now finds this stuff enjoyable?
Or she has like brain regeneration, and it's like how she turns it off at the end of the day or something.
That
I
very
can
well
see
could be
that.
the
I can
case.
see that. That
Her
makes
brain
sense.
keeps growing, so she takes a little bit out to take a break,
That
but
makes
she'll be
sense.
back
There's
tomorrow.
always we haven't looked at a downside to her powers yet,
Yeah.
and that does seem like a thing. Like she can't stop thinking of these things. She can't.
Right.
So that's why that makes a lot of sense.
I
could
dig
not
that
figure
choice.
it out. I was thinking maybe it was a tracker, like people have used those things to take out their tracker that Vought puts in them.
Sure, but I don't know if she.
I thought maybe it was something to do with her, how she's going to control the Deep.
could be.
You know,
Do
but,
we have
but that
confirmation
makes,
the trackers still exist post Stan Edgar?
well, yeah. Somebody just ripped one out in these.
There's a lot of tracker stuff in Gen V.
Okay. Well,
they-
is that Stan Edgar in charge?
Oh. Will Ferrell's character
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, all right, who he's playing.
Oh yeah, with
is the guy, the dean of the school.
Oh yeah.
At Gen V. Brother Jerome. Lex Luthor's voice.
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown's character. He's playing Clancy Brown's character. He's the one who took him out of the streets.
But they're like
Come
the
back with
same
me
age.
yeah, he's
That's so
playing it.
funny.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
he's an actor.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he's
I thought it was
playing
supposed to be
him.
like a young version of him. Or something.
I mean, he's
like
younger. I think they what do you-
Also, it'd be hard
Meryl
to get
Streep.
that character in universe.
What's that?
I said also it would be hard to get Clancy Brown's character in universe.
Yes.
He was
He was murdered.
burned to ash.
Yeah, it's good stuff by a Human Torch like here. Oh, that's the other thing. I do believe we have confirmation that the 2 characters from Gen V are coming back. The people that were a lot of the characters in Gen V were either split down the middle in terms of what side they were on.
Okay.
And you kind of until the end that they landed on a side, and or were turncoats from the beginning.
Okay.
So essentially, there's that fire guy, right, that you saw in the beginning. That
Oh yeah.
he's kind of the premise of it. He was like a superpowered guy. He had a younger brother that was like in the detention center downstairs that they were trying to like, that they were experimenting on, and he's like super fucking strong, and invulnerable. But he is insane. And he sees things like Frenchie was saying. He actually sees people as puppets, which is fucking dark as fuck.
Oh,
'Cause he
okay.
rips them apart. And they're like,
It's very noir cartoon.
yes, that was a very
Oh.
great sequence of him ripping apart felt, but it's actually people. Like it's like he's ripping apart Muppets, but
Okay.
then it cuts away. And it cuts back. And it's just him dismembering people.
Who's the actor that he sees? He's like fuck you, character actor, blah 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 blah, and
don't
I
remember
forget
this.
who it is, but it's somebody in that show too. Like it's the only person that he sees as himself, and he's the guy who holds the puppets. But it's only for like a scene or two.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember who
that.
it was.
But there's another character that had mind control powers. She was kind of like a little bit like Rogue and a little bit like Emma Frost or somebody. Like she could, if she touched you, she could tell you what to do, and you would have to do it. Okay, so she can kind of like Rumor from what's that show?
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy, kind of like that.
Okay.
Like
okay.
where she could almost like break reality a little. I don't want to say that, but she could definitely do things pretty on deeper levels, like forget your past, like
Yeah.
her whole trauma backstory was that she told her brother when she was a kid to get lost, and like he never was in it. So like there was a lot of sadness too, but she at the end the brother who is crazy and sees them as puppets like is conflicted because one of the other characters, Cricket, he has like a relationship with, and it's really adorable. I actually really liked their relationship. They were like the adorable couple. They were like Frenchie and Kimiko kind of, and they had this like. He's conflicted, and she's on the good people's side, and he's like, I don't know. So it seems like we should be. We're being experimented on. Like, this is fucked up. Like, he has a reasonable side to say.
Sure, yeah.
But he's conflicted because the person he loves is there, and he doesn't want to be conflicted anymore. So he tells her, who controls people, to say, make me. I forget like exactly what it was. But
yeah, she says, feel nothing.
She's like, I don't want to feel anything anymore. I don't want to feel these. And she like she's like, okay, you won't feel. Then he's just like. He just goes like dead. His eyes go
great.
Dead. This is just like this is a person who has like no soul now.
And he's like maybe a step under Homelander. He's
cool.
Like
In
he
terms
can't
of
fly.
crazy.
He can't fly or shoot lasers, but he's got everything else.
Yeah. He's pretty invulnerable too.
He's like fighting an elephant.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he just dismembers people apart like candy. But yeah, so he and the mind control girl are coming to the boys or the 7, I think.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But I just don't know how you tell all that backstory. Because I feel like those characters have.
One of them may possibly be missing a limb.
No, I feel like they. I don't know. Do they have some repairs? Oh, maybe they give her a cybernetic one or something.
Ooh. Yeah, they could do something like that. It's fucking Vought. They've got all these superheroes.
She should have the head popper girl.
Yeah,
right. She blew
Marie.
up. When she reached out with her hand, she exploded her entire arm.
So she can't touch people and change their mind.
Oh,
well, did she do it to both hands or just one?
Just the one.
Is the one right?
Oh.
But I don't know. I don't know if they are not going to have that limb or what they're going to do with it.
That would be interesting.
So she couldn't mind control her partner in the show, Jordan, who is a very important character to me because that is representative of how I feel all the time. Their power is basically they have a guy and a girl form, and they change back and forth, and they have different powers, and it is a dream.
Oh, that's a really good. Actually, all of the powers sets that they used in that show were very good metaphorically. It was one of my favorite things about Gen V. This is the Gen V podcast, by the way.
Apparently, yeah.
But no, I think it's good setup for this season of the boys.
It's important.
So they had Cricket, who can become small or large like Ant-Man, but to do so has to throw up or eat.
Yeah.
So if she eats, it's like this whole metaphor for bulimia and like keeping like perfect weights and her mom is like super like Starlight's mom, kind of like that.
Yeah, and she thought it was really cool when and profitable when she would shrink, but hated it when she grew.
Yeah,
which is
it's like a classic like I don't like you fat, but like stay skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And the trauma that goes with that. Obviously, the other girl had issues with her. The blood-based powers were very based on puberty and menstruation and how females are grow. Like it's a whole thing there. The other one had the mind control thing. Had definitely like some trauma in terms of like how that went. There was one more I'm not remembering. That had
the
polarity.
Polarity, yeah.
Yeah, he was like a stoner with like Magneto like powers, but he was. I felt like weaker than a Magneto per se.
Mm-hmm.
But like apparently he was one of the 7 at one point. Like his dad was like Polaris.
Oh, neat.
And had like magnet.
I know
powers.
one of them. I think Maverick. He was supposed to be like Translucent's kid.
He couldn't have been in because A's and A-Train the first black person of the 7, even though it would have been Black Noir.
Well, yeah,
but they don't tell him that.
Yeah.
But I think they all say that A-Train was the first black member of the 7. So what the hell was Polaris? Was he never or Polarity, or was he never in it?
Who knows?
Yeah, he was probably. I think he was ahead of some sort of team or whatever.
Yeah,
but-
he must have had some help, but yeah. So it was an interesting show. I really liked all those metaphors that they used for all of those things. It just worked really well. And but yeah, this is gonna be. I don't know what's gonna happen when they bring them in. The fact that they brought in Sage, I love her just going putting her fingers to her head because she has mental powers for the cameras, and how she hates it.
Oh, she fucking hates all of it. Yeah.
And yeah, I love the dynamic. I loved him. The Firecracker dynamic was cool too. We haven't talked
talked about
we haven't talked
Firecracker
about Firecracker. This is a whole thing.
Talk about Firecracker. I fucking love Firecracker.
So their scene together was great. The backstory on them and how she fucked over, or Starlight fucked her over as a kid, because she was this whole season's about your past.
Mhm.
For sure.
So it's making up for the past mistakes, and not
which is
and
sort
not
of the
ignoring
perfect, which is sort of the perfect way to jump off into a final season. It's like, all right, everybody's trauma.
you
got
gotta get to
off.
you gotta get to peak level. You gotta basically at the end of this season they need to be. So here's what my speculation is. I think we're gonna get there pretty soon. But hold on, let me hold off on speculation because I want to talk about Firecracker for a second. Firecracker does give that backstory.
You take your meds today, D?
And then it gets that whole backstory about how she was called a slut and she sucked dick or did whatever to get there, and then she calls that on Starlight, says I didn't have to suck anybody's dick to get there, and
all that projection.
Then goes to Homelander and says, "I'll do anything."
Anything.
She
says it over and over and over.
Is that one? So I think they'll fuck. He's not going to enjoy that though.
No.
But
she'll come on to him and he'll be like,
Yeah.
"Fine, he needs to blow off steam or something."
yeah. But
Do you like her cute little power? She snaps her fingers, just like a little pew.
yeah, it's
And then is
jubilant.
that it? It's
She's
like, no, I'm
jubilant.
also really strong.
That's gonna come into play. She's she's stronger than most.
Sure, most soups are, but just like the little pew. It's like a little fucking wimpy jubilee.
Yeah, but she is like your Alex Jones transitioned into the Marjorie Taylor Greene, where she gets into the group.
Yeah, you just mixed a couple different things, and I hated when you said it, but it
when
makes sense.
she introduces herself, and she's like, "Oh, you got a little mouth on you," and she's like, and I was like, "Oh, that's such a." And then Sage immediately calls her out on exactly what it was. I was like, "Ooh, that's a really good she's like,
good
oh, that's a
racist
good
undertone.
slight old school racism, like implied racism. It's really nice. Calls her right out on it, gives it back, and then shows her the Homelander selfie, which was hilarious in the moment. Her just calling it the homeboy introduction was so stupid. Poor Quan or whoever. What was his name?
Oh, that guy. Oh, what
What's
the
his
fuck
name?
was his name? I don't even remember.
Eh,
Splinter.
No, not Splinter. I meant the stuntman coordinator.
Oh,
who-
Coy.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Also
Knew that guy
played
was gonna
by
die.
the real stuntman whose real
Yeah.
nickname is Coy.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that was
pretty
just
funny.
him. Yeah. His
Sad he's
last
dead
name is
now,
like
though.
Coy something. I can't remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Sad they
Yeah,
killed him for this show.
Yeah, I know,
It was
right?
a great CGI.
Commitment to the bit.
Great CGI, slop.
Yeah.
Just turning people into mush. Just the arm falling off first.
Yep.
You saved me.
Yeah,
That was the
the
funniest
little
moment.
girl just
That's the
delivering a
funniest moment of the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
You saved me. Fucking powering through. What a pro. What a fucking pro.
Coy said he could take it. He was like, "You gotta throw me. It's okay. I could take it. You could throw me hard."
I was like, this guy's fucking dead.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like,
I do really want to see their mock-up
How
fake
do you-
save for
How do you not have a souped stuntman for that?
right? Like, what the fuck? You have
Or
to
at least give him some compound V, the temp V. You
get
know,
like a Kimiko type that can look dead and then they
Jesus
come back.
Christ.
I guess they really are trying to make it look like a real save and that it's not staged at all. So they had to use stuntmen and not soups, but Jesus Christ, dude.
I love
Ryan just
that
murdered a guy.
Black Noir and fucking deeper there for no fucking reason. He's like, he still fucked up his line. He's like, what the heck are we gonna do?
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
bad. He's so fucking stupid.
Jesus.
I love him. He had another good Oh fuck! He had another good thing.
His octopus in the closet.
Yeah.
Who is voiced by?
Oh fuck, that's right. Who is she? I can't remember off my head.
Oh
Help me out,
gosh.
Troy.
Oh, Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. They that is where you get, because Deep definitely has he's a sympathetic. He becomes sympathetic, and when she's saying, "Look, we could go into the sea and never deal with this ever again," you're just like, "Fucking Deep, do it!" Like, you clearly want that. Like that, you care so much. It's the only time you're like ever good.
Yeah, just fucking go, man.
Everything he does on the surface is horrible, and everything he does underneath is actually he's the best person in the world down there, and they love him. Yeah. They love him there. Everybody thinks he's the greatest. He's the best swimmer. That was so funny.
Oh.
He's like, "You're such a strong swimmer." Like,
you're such a strong.
And he like perks
swimmer.
up when he hears it. It's like, it's so, that's adorable, and the fact that like he won't let it go for whatever reasons.
If he doesn't die at the end of the show, I think what they should do is that should be his. He should weirdly get a happy ending, and he should be in the ocean. And because it's the boys, I think that he should be fully naked.
Yeah, but does he just get raped by sharks after that, like, or
Um,
dolphins or something? Like, is it just like? And then he's kind of into it. Like it'll be a happy ending. It'll be a deep happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
No,
Oh,
it's
man.
no. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see him just like retreating to the deep and thinking it's gonna be great.
Oh,
and
but
then him getting taken to, and then him being into it.
But I was gonna say I really want to see one of these fake Vought saves and try to see what they would do with Sage's powers, where it's like your power is being smart, and how they would try to put that onto film, where it's like, hey, I know that you, by my calculations, your bullet will miss me by whatever, and like,
Well,
like what I want to see the bullshit.
Here's
fake.
what I've not quite understood otherwise about the universe in general is that there are these super teams, right, all over the country, and Vought clearly has a like the 7 are their super team. Are all the super teams Vought? Are they all supported or
That's a good question.
financed by Vought? So like when you have these, because you're not sure, like, are there no Batmen? Like, are there no like vigilante types? Like, are they all corporately funded by someone or something? Are there competing companies that do this? My impression was that a lot of these are just their own startups. They just do this. They do the circuits. But some of them are very much of like an official city protector or some shit that they were like talking about.
Yeah, that's like Blue Hawk.
Right. Like, so there's some.
I think they all kind of have to be Vought at least a little bit.
There's like some kind of contracts that they get. Like Vought was definitely the woman in the beginning, right? I forget her name. That Homelander's breast milk, you know.
Oh, Stillwell.
Stillwell at the beginning was like,
Oh, very beginning. Gotcha.
the very beginning. Stillwell was like saying like, oh, we could get you this superhero in your country. We could get that contract for you. And they're talking to like government officials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like obviously there's government contracts, like state contracts that you could get for particular cities. So like, and Vought would deal with them. So it seemed like the underling, and there was like a bunch of people that they could choose from, but they're not part of the 7.
Right.
There was like, you could get your own. So they all seem to be somehow connected to Vought, because that was their whole ploy to get these. That's how they became superheroes. But I don't know if some of them but a lot of them are supposed to like just come up out of nowhere and do their own thing. So I didn't know, like, and then if that's the case, then how do you get like a Sage or Sister Sage? Why would they even market that character in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Or that why would they even market like a super smart person? Like I kind of get it. Like maybe like, are we talking the 90s? Like maybe it's early. No, it's gotta be the early 2000s that like they're on the Teenage Kicks team, and at that point, I feel like they've been running for long enough that you would know that like the smart character isn't a good. Like,
right, there's no
like,
Flash.
There's no by the time that the Teenage Kicks would have been operating at that point, they wouldn't have put them in. So it makes more sense as like a team that just kind of came together and like, I have superpowers. Like, oh, I'm super smart. And then like they realize it doesn't work because it's not themselves. But that doesn't seem like a Vought thing to do. And that's why I'm like started to wonder about like the whole corporate structure of how any of those other teams worked. They all seem clearly connected to Vought, but maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, my only thing is that like every superhero, as far as we know, comes from Compound V, which is a Vought product.
Except Ryan.
Except Ryan, yeah, he's the first one without, needing.
I thought you said Brian, and I was like, I have to figure out who Brian is.
No,
Ryan.
That's why Ryan is the chosen one in quotes. But like, if everyone needed,
Oh, Homeboy?
Homeboy, fucking hate that name. But if everyone
It's the
needed
worst costume
Compound
ever.
V in order to be super, then I guess everything down to like the circuits is like sponsored by and funded by Vought, right? Like they don't necessarily, and I guess the 7 is just like the top of the ladder as far as like the Vought corporate structure goes. I can't imagine like anything else.
Speaking of the corporate structure of Vought,
I'm
upset with us as a podcast.
Of course.
Have we not talked about this podcast's favorite character for the last like 2 seasons of
Who is?
Ashley?
Ashley?
Ashley has a little side plot in this.
Yeah.
Ashley's
How do
girl
we-
bossing so hard.
Not really though.
That's what she says.
She's getting pretty anti-girl boss.
Like a mascot.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, okay,
Love it.
great.
Yeah, and then she goes and crushes a man's balls.
She does, and I
He
loved
wants her balls
seeing
crushed. Yeah.
me.
He's so good.
I love him.
It's literally man, I bet they're so right on the real analog.
Oh, for sure.
That guy loves getting his balls crushed in real life.
Absolutely, Tucker Carlson's into that shit. Are you
We
kidding?
didn't say Tucker Carlson. How do we didn't? We don't know who it was based off of.
Sorry, the Tucker Carlson analog in The Boys.
Tucker Tarlson.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson. Oh, I love it there. Who
I
married
like
into
that-
the Swanson frozen dinner family.
I also like that he kind of fits for Jesse Waters too a little bit. He's like kind of right in between.
Who?
He's just a generic
He's
white
the, he's
news
the new
anchor.
Fox loser. He's the new Fox loser, but everybody likes him way less. Even the people who should love him.
Yeah.
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 He's got a very punchable face.
That veneer is wearing thin.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking yeah. This show just continues to just put a mirror up to the real world.
Is that one of the evil robots in Doctor Who?
Jesse Waters?
No, that.
Oh, he's looking at my computer. Yeah, that's a Dalek.
Okay. Cool.
Exterminate.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so cool
Yeah, you're so cool.
with my villain from a 1960s British television show.
You are the coolest person.
Oh, thank you, Pablo. Please vote Democrat this year. I beg you.
What are you talking about?
You cannot vote for RFK or Donald Trump.
I am a citizen of the world, but I have no actual documentation.
Oh, great. So your vote literally doesn't matter.
I cannot vote.
Oh,
in
perfect,
Your
awesome.
state elections, no.
Perfect.
Well, it's because if they let him, then whoever he voted for would just become president.
Yes,
and he doesn't want it.
He does one public
He-
appearance, they
he-
just win the
He
vote.
values
The
democracy.
American people must save themselves.
As a true outsider, Pablo Podcasto,
yes.
yay or nay, Electoral College?
Oh, the electoral college does seem problematic,
Mm.
but there are those that really feel that we must remember that the middle of the country, the middle, the heartland,
Ooh.
is where the food is made.
Sure,
There
but
are
food
not
doesn't
many-
get a vote.
There are not many people, but we
Mm.
need the people that are there, and
Ah.
their vote must count.
That's true.
We cannot only cater to the sidelines. You
Ooh.
know? We must take care of them, but maybe fewer electoral votes.
I
Maybe
see.
fewer. I don't
That's
know.
the compromise.
I don't know.
Yes.
There are no easy answers.
Of course not. No.
All Americans must look deep.
It's a very complex
Yeah,
situation
yeah.
here.
But the boys, I just want to pop in very quickly
Mm.
to talk about this episode. My man
Franchi. Oh, yes.
he's magnifique.
The man is just drips charisma and riz every time he steps up on the screen.
He is pure. He is concentrated riz. Yes,
Oh!
yes,
Oh, I
concentrated
see.
riz. He is one man who gives Pablo pause.
Ooh. Oh. That's a mighty high compliment.
I pucker at him.
Oh, your lips, right? On your face?
Let's go with that.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Well, it is always good to see you, my boys.
Mm.
And
You too, Pablo.
I will come back next week.
Oh, you'll come all
the
over.
please take over. I will see you next time.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and Dee's magically back.
Yo!
Oh, it's so great how that
I
happened.
have so many microphones.
I think I've got like 5 of them around here. Anywho,
Well, thanks.
Troy, do you have anything else you really want to talk about with these first 3 episodes?
I
Oh,
feel
well, we didn't talk about the centipede yet.
we didn't talk about the centipede. That is true.
We joked about it briefly, but we
did
didn't
very
go into it.
briefly.
He's a good metaphor for the conspiracy mentality. Like, you take out the leader, they all go out.
Mhm.
Sure.
Complete and total simpism. You know,
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for the person that you're into. I love when he's like, my friend, biggest thing on YouTube, like, does a big introduction for her, and it comes up, goes for the hug, and she just like reaches, like,
Yep.
just ignores him completely. Is
Yeah,
great.
I'm not gonna hug you. That's nah.
Guy's a shower though. Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
Yeah.
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 got some
I mean,
dong.
if you're an actor who's okay being naked on screen, I imagine you have to be, right?
You gotta be a shower. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to be parading around your.
Could you imagine
floppy
being
dick.
famous for
It
like
did-
the on-screen small dick guy?
I mean,
It's gotta be awesome. I mean, lean into it, right?
if
Like-
you lean into it, you definitely are fine, and you pull just fine.
Listen, I'm sure they'll be fine. You just gotta eat good box, I guess. The
Put skill points somewhere
Troy,
else.
I
on
know
the
you
tree.
don't actually engage in like intercourse, but it matters less than you think it does.
No, I'm aware.
Eating good
I
I mean, I don't think Troy. I'm sure Troy's packing.
Troy's definitely packing. Are you
definitely
kidding?
packing. It's like, yeah, it's like an ironic twist.
I- I was going to say, to answer your question,
I'm so sorry.
I love that one.
That was a crazy little giggle.
the only character that I think we haven't really touched up on at all is MM. Who
Ah.
is now
Oh,
like the
fuck it!
actual
He's got a
leader of the boys.
mustache now.
Okay, so he did lose some weight,
Yes.
but not helping that fact has been his shaved beard.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I-
he needs that on. I thought he
Yes.
lost. I thought he was dying.
I thought it was a different actor for a second.
a
I
lot
did
of people
too
have.
for a second.
I didn't think that, but I looked online and everybody thinks that.
Yeah, it was jarring, but I was like, no, that's him. But yeah, I couldn't put my finger on it. Oh, by the way, you know who is packing? Todd. Todd was
yeah.
packing.
Yeah. Fucking oof.
That was great. He's like, well, sure wasn't a D. And she's like, just some side eye over there.
And then it gets brought up again later, and
Oh,
everyone just
yeah.
giving the
You
side eye, like,
know-
nah, man.
You know he's giving it. He gave it bang, boom, bow, which is fun.
I like that we took a moment of silence to appreciate Todd's massive.
Yeah, we
fucking
had to
dong.
reflect on it, think about it a little bit, get it in our mind.
Hey, yeah, that's
The
it.
man,
Lost but not
knows how to
forgotten.
fucking throw. All right,
Lost but not forgotten.
Lost but not.
The dick, Todd sucked. He's a bad guy. But,
I mean, the daughter seemed to like.
yeah, I
enjoy
mean,
him.
he was down a pipeline. He's a lost guy to fucking propaganda. He was not necessarily himself the bad guy.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's kind of the unfortunateness. Is the thing is like he's probably a guy that was indeed packing this whole time, but probably never got. You know, that's not apparent.
Yeah.
You know, he probably
Mhm.
never gets the chance, but knows he's worth it, right? And is just always overlooked. You know, even though he is all the things he should be. You know, like so I get it, and that kind of expectation versus reality type of situation is you know, is it one of the reasons why a seemingly all right dude becomes like ingrained in this stuff, like an otherwise great guy can be just as susceptible to this kind of propaganda as
An
anything
all
else
right
because of
guy
that.
can turn into an alt right guy.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wait.
I
you
just
very
wanted to
much.
hop in really quickly.
Oh no, he's back.
That was amazing. I
Oh,
love
thank
that
you so
episode.
much.
That's
That compliment got me erect.
What's that sound?
Troy, you know that I have the. You need to be.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
It's all right. The one thing I really enjoyed a lot that made me happy just as a human being was Sage going up to Firecracker and being like, what are you selling? And she's like, nothing. This is all genuine. And Sage is like, listen, I could change your life right now. I need you to be honest with me for a second. And Firecracker's like, no, I'm not selling nothing. And Sage is like, all right, leaves. And she's like, no, wait, come back. I'll be honest.
And she
Yeah,
tells
these
you.
people are fucking losers. But like, if you tell them it's someone else's fault, they like get united under a common banner and then they feel like less of a
He's
loser.
like, what would you rather be? Would you rather be be a meaningless nobody, or would you rather be fighting against the oppressive system that I'm like, this is the exact thing that people say. Like
That's exactly it. And
Sony-
there's no fucking way Rupert Murdoch in his Fox News tower doesn't fucking know that, and he manipulates millions of people every fucking day.
I mean, we have pretty much proof of that at this point.
Hey.
Yeah, it just made me happy as a human to like hear it out loud, and I was like, yes, somebody fucking acknowledges it, even if it's fake and this is all a stupid made up story.
Heard that.
I appreciated it. The little MSNBC man in my heart was like, yay, and then he was like, no, wait, they suck too. For different reasons. Anyway, is that it for episodes 1, 2, and 3?
It probably isn't, but do we have infinite time?
Not really. We're pushing an hour and change.
And
It's 3 episodes. It's
Yeah,
not
It
crazy.
is. I'm not saying it needs to be an
And
hour.
Gen V.
and
We
we're
did
not-
talk about Gen V, and then our complete sidetrack to talk about the fucking Wonder Spiral or whatever.
Yes.
Your comic book?
Wild
The
Storm.
Wonder Spot.
Wildstorm.
Oh, I do want to go back to that.
I got there. I got there eventually.
I would.
You know they got
let's
shut down in
start
2010
Let's start a company called
and then
Wonder
revived
Spiral.
in 2017.
They're awesome. That is a great universe, and it is extraordinarily modeled after Marvel. Like it is a lot of
I
Marvel,
shouldn't have said anything, Troy.
but its basis is in the. Let me see if I can remember this. Kibirium Daemonite War.
He just he made up syllables. He doesn't know what he's saying. These are all fake
I think
words.
it's Carabim. Yeah, they're fake.
I tried to. So I went to Google
aliens.
Wildstorm, and one of the top answers for Google is Wildstorm Universe Reading Order. Apparently, there's like a in order to read the books from each character in order of like a
Oh, wow,
massive
that's cool.
timeline.
They have a great history. They have like these teams that were like early on, like Team 7, these experiment on soldiers, where all these characters that are now superheroes came from. It's just this great backstory of like a Nick Fury type character that like led to all these mutant type characters that are now around. It was a great series, but like trying to implant that into the DC universe is the dumbest. They're totally different universes. It's way more modeled after Marvel than DC. So it would make way more sense even in the Marvel universe to like make it work, but it doesn't work in this one. Anywho, I know y'all came for this.
all I
but
know-
they are going to make the Authority, which is
They
which is part
own
of
the
it.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That makes sense.
What the fuck?
Well, he sold those independently.
Okay. They also own Ex Machina.
Yeah.
I almost said Pablo
Brian
Pascal.
Kevon.
Well, no, I was going to say the actor in the movie. Is it the same? Is it the movie? Oscar Isaac or
Ex
no?
Machina. Ex Machina. The comic book is different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different than
It's its
Deus
own
Ex.
universe. It's its own universe. And it literally is the premise of that. There's still one tower standing.
Okay.
Okay, and it's because there was an alien spaceship that's dropped, and this one guy has a connection to machines. Okay, and he can kind of talk to machines now because of this alien, whatever, and he kind of uses it to become kind of like an Iron Man-isk, and he is he basically saves one of the towers during 9/11, but then uses that celebrity response to become mayor of New York.
Shut the fuck
Okay.
up. Ex Machina was created by Brian Vaughn?
Brian K. Vaughan, yeah.
That's what you just said.
Oh, I wasn't listening to him. I was reading. But holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
It's the same guy who did is that the same one who did Why Last Man?
I think so.
So yeah, he did that, and it's like that premise, and then it's like so now it's like he's a superhero, but he's a politician. So
Yeah,
it
Why
gets
Last
very
Man?
political. It gets very like like it's
Are
very,
comic
it's a
books
really,
political?
A little bit.
Wait, what?
A little bit.
Am I learning this at the end of the
Yeah.
first episode of our Boys Season 4 podcast?
Dude, man. This is I have real bad news for you about the other 3 seasons and definitely season 5. Are you you guys
We're-
okay?
Yeah, we're
Fine.
whispering sweet nothings to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's not about you.
Cool.
It's not all about you.
So I'm gonna wrap
Yeah,
the
we're
podcast.
not. We don't talk about you behind your back at every waking
It's in
moment.
front
Thank you all for listening to
It's in
this
front of you.
episode of the TB&J podcast. Please like,
Talk right to his
subscribe,
face and
and
say,
tune
"Fuck that
in
guy."
next week when we talk about more boys and other
Little-
stuff.
That sounds weird when you say it that way.
Butt stuff.
We're going to talk about boys.
We're just gonna talk about boys.
Yeah, sitting there kicking our feet behind.
Aw, sitting on our phones all night. You guys. Oh, and this episode will be published on Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth, everyone.
And my mom's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.